Hello guys, so today we are going to be Gamma Jack fighting Omnidroids. Basically, if you don't know what Omnidroids are, they are giant robots that was able to kill a lot of supers in the Incredibles movie. So we are going to do VX1, VX2, VX3, VX4, yeah, basically. So here's the first Omnidroid ever created. We use my laser. And then my fly ability to catapult out of there. Now, Gamma Jack can fly back there, and the Omnidroid isn't aware of him until he accidentally goes in his scanner. However, now he uses the high ground, advantaging that the Omnidroids really weren't built for mounting. Really damaging the Omnidroid in the process. When the Omnidroid tries to go up, now, VX1 killed us. But we did put up a good fight. So I would assume it as somewhat of a win. Now Gazerbeam has good abilities, but he cannot fly for some reason. Because he would have been too OP if he could fly. You know how Gamma Jack could fly, dodge his abilities, yeah, and stuff like that. You just have to really get high ground for this one. Kind of like what we did with Omnidroid VX2. It's really hard, but after you kind of master him, it isn't as hard. So yeah. We just have to find a Omnidroid. And we also have to survive on Syndrome's Island. So if we see too much of an Omnidroid, like a giant Omnidroid, we're not going to go fight it. Just enjoying the atmosphere for now, at least. Syndrome is the one who built these killing machines, if you don't know. Now, this Omnidroid is stuck, and Gazerbeam sees that it is stuck and advantages that until he sees a much stronger Omnidroid coming for him, and he escapes there, as that one is almost onto him. He realizes that they're both coming for him, and ultimately, obviously, as he doesn't have a fly ability, gets very scared, as he knows this doesn't play around. However, he successfully breaks free, and almost breaks free again, but he dies again. So, the Omnidroid has already killed a lot of our supers. a ton of our supers have already been killed by the Omnidroids. And Gamma Jack nearly survived the encounter, but he is still damaged, so he's not going to be able to use that big boost. And he cannot fly for long periods of time. He sees the Omnidroid that kills him, and in his kind of upgraded state, his rage mode, he became a lot stronger. In this rage mode, he's a lot stronger and ultimately takes him out very, very easily. This rage mode variant of him is very dangerous. He is looking for another victim until he sees something. He doesn't know what it was, but a Omnidroid that it wasn't self-controlled. Sincerely, he goes into the Omnidroid and finds out he can pilot the thing. He was surprised that he could pilot it. But unfortunately, when he tried to get out, it was a Kami trap and he died, unfortunately. Now, he just has to find Syndrome and eliminate him once and for all. But as soon as that happened, Gamma Jack 100% died. No, there is no chance of him coming back. Gazerbeam has also been terminated, but it's been a while since he has been terminated, so now his son is here. Now, there is a lot more Omnidroid variants now, especially VX5. It really injures things. But his son is not as stupid as his father was, and he sees Omnidroids coming from far, 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 far away. He does not stop attacking as he knows his lasers does have some knockback. So he keeps on attacking the Omnidroid until it gets hurt. But he was ultimately attacked from behind and killed. Now, a lot of the supers have been terminated. However, Gazerbeam comes back again. And yeah. He keeps on coming back as new variants. This variant can break through higher ranked Omnidroids most of the time. He sees VX2, but the thing about him is, unlike the other one, he doesn't have exactly good vision, but he can sense sneak attacks coming. So he is very smart and very good at using his abilities. And more importantly, he is nowhere near an idiot. He shoots through where the Omnidroid scanner cannot find him, and unfortunately, this is how VX3 has its ultimate demise. Killing VX3 was definitely hard, but he did. So now, ultimately, he ran away as they have like cameras, and the creator of the Omnidroids would definitely track him down. He went on top. He tried to go on top of the mountain, but he realized there's something up there. So he decided not to go there, at least for now. And this one is a lot more powerful than the others. And has a lot more strength, so he can break through VX1, VX2, VX3, VX4, VX5. So yeah. The only hope for the supers killing VX9 is truly to find that weird Omnidroid again. Even though he's a lot smaller than VX9. Matter of fact, nothing even is on tie with VX9. He sees the Omnidroid that eliminated Gamma Jack. Well, severely injured Gamma Jack. And he fires. Obviously, he would fire. Now, it ultimately died very easily, as this guy is not weak at all. But he sees him again with barely any power juice and ultimately gets scared. He attempts to run, but he just used his powers, so he's a lot less agility. However, he is still the strongest super. While the second strongest, who knows who will come next. Actually, who knows? Maybe he will be the weakest, behind Gamma Jack. As Gamma Jack and him are very on tie. Now he realizes that the Omnidroid finally been destroyed and it's time to retreat. Until he sees another one. Exhausted from the other fights, it seems like he is a lot less strong because of the other fights. He severely gets stupid, almost breaking free, and actually successfully breaking free. Even exhausted, he still put up a good fight, but this next time, he couldn't break free and he's dead. Terminated. After fighting a lot of Omnidroids. Now, someone reports to the incident of the Omnidroids. He sees VX4 and leaves because he knows that one is very strong. So he uses all of his abilities to leave. But he can also know the future and the past. One of his abilities is time. So he remembers Gamma Jack's last message. Hey, I think I found something here, and then gave the coordinates. No one else listened to him, as there was no one else there at the time. But he knew that before Gamma Jack's death, he must have found something. So he goes to the coordinates and sees VX5. This wasn't like any Omnidroid they ever fought. It was stronger than every single other Omnidroid, and was hidden here on purpose. He pilots it, and then realizes Syndrome probably made this. Now, he is in a very powerful Omnidroid. And heavily armored, he can still use his abilities, kind of. So, VX5 being controlled by Thunderhead, tries to find another Omnidroid to test its abilities. He sees VX1, but he realizes that in this self-control thing, all variants are made bulletproof, he says to himself, as he's trying to damage y'all. But it isn't working, and they don't seem to care. He quickly looks at the energy absorb. $2,000, 1,004. He shoots, but nothing happens. But this is still useful. He knows the location, and since he is very smart, he knows the exact weaknesses of the Omnidroids. Since they are self-controlled, all he has to do is shoot at them. As he got the high ground, it's very easy for him to fight against them, and his knockback is extremely powerful. But he realizes that they're also pretty powerful. Never underestimate your enemies, because he almost did. And that didn't end exactly well for him. He flies on top of the mountain, getting ready to use almost all of his power, but then he realizes something is being worked on in that mountain. He leaves no time but to leave there. But then he realized whatever is being worked on in there probably has already been released. So he looks around the map. More and more and more. And then he also sees the Omnidroid that he was piloting earlier finally get finished. He should have had to shoot it when he could have, but he didn't. Then he sees what's been released. Something a lot bigger than him. His instincts kick in and absolutely leave that place before something bad happens. He thought this was the ultimate invention, but looks like it wasn't. But he knows he has damaged the self-control, so he is very slow now. He realizes that variants of the Omnidroid is starting to get a lot more weaker to thunder, and says immune to thunder. He keeps on using the high ground. The Omnidroid, which is very hard to finish off, as they are nearly unstoppable. He uses charges that, if he uses too much energy, could probably kill him. But he uses all of his energy that he has and weakened the Omnidroid a lot. He remembered the control, but he doesn't know if this guy is immune to thunder, as the other variants were nearly immune to thunder. For this movie, we're going to have the super here for a long time. He actually might be the main protagonist until his defeat occurs. He doesn't see the Omnidroid and was relieved until he realized it was hiding in there. But he sees a mighty super's power. Were they studying hypershock? He has no time to think of what and why was hypershock there. All he knows is, I have to destroy that thing. Now. That's all he thinks of. He knows how powerful hypershock was. And if he was actually studying, he had to be careful, as the Omnidroid significantly put a good hit on him. He was scared to keep on fighting it, but he knew if he didn't kill this thing, who else would? No one else had the intelligence or power to kill them. And he knew that. But he'd been at this for hours and still hasn't killed him. For a second, all of his hope was lost of killing this Omnidroid. It just kept on fighting. He knew he could leave, but it would remember his face. And Syndrome's Island would automatically release the strongest Omnidroid if it ever detected. It left. Someone have left the island. The strongest Omnidroid of Syndrome would be released, and he would be killed in no time. If that one was lying around not solitated, who knows what other Omnidroids there are? No one knows. No one. He thinks of maybe leaving, but he realizes Syndrome put a shield, as he knew his super was there. He thinks about going back, maybe a last attempt of killing that Omnidroid. He comes back to the Omnidroid, but it's too strong. Going head on with the Omnidroid was hard, but taking risks are a must. Even using However, he almost got killed from it. He doesn't know how much it takes to kill this one. But if it takes this long to kill this one, imagine the others. The Omnidroid runs for some reason, implying to his brain that he might. Going head-on with the Omnidroid was hard. Very hard. But eventually, he almost won. Finally, he used even more powers. He saw it's almost dead. He kept on breaking away from him. But it was hard to kill him. It took a long time to kill him. It took a long time to kill him. But eventually, he knew what he did. He just knew. He had one more explosion he had to do. He was finally finished. After hours of trying to kill him, he was finally done. However, the stings of the Omnidroid forever traumatized